off we go, everybody. Game for the grand final. What a horrible introduction. Scratch that. It's time for the lower bracket final, everybody. It is Eastern Europe versus Korea. And the last remaining Korean is LabyRinth. Who would have thought? Not the Lawlights, not the Focuses, not the Soins. It's Labby. And now he's facing Foggy, who wants to challenge Happy again in the grand final.
Yeah, LabyRinth definitely has solid shot here, doesn't he? I mean, Foggy looked insane in a couple of games, 2 of 4 games. I think it was the first map in the Northern Isles. He looked quite strong against Happy, but LabyRinth is a different beast altogether. He's not the one-base micro god. He is a wacky player. I know we say this all the time, but it's worth repeating because not a lot of people know about LabyRinth's style. Of course, the expansion, the different tactical plays. LabyRinth has proven himself to be extremely good in this matchup, but Foggy has proven himself to be a student of the game. He'll definitely have seen all of these series, all 8 maps in this tournament of LabyRinth against Night Elf, and Foggy will have a response to this. Is it the Mass Huntress that he showed earlier in the tournament, Foggy, or is it going to be just a straight up clean play that he showed against Happy today? There's plenty of options on both sides.
Exactly. We know from both players that they're pretty good at preparing. Foggy, obviously, scouting everyone, everywhere, and getting ready for these matches. LabyRinth, next to playing Warcraft 3, he is or was a coach for Rainbow Six for Talon Esports. So as a coach, you, of course, need to have these analytical skills as well. And he has to bring it to the table now to maybe switch up his game a little bit to match the style of Foggy, who plays a little different than some of the Asians.
That's super cool. I actually didn't know that. That's an extremely difficult game as well. If anyone is aware of the tactical shooters, that is probably the most complicated, even though I'm a big fan of Counter-Strike myself. But Rainbow Six is a crazy complicated game. So to be a coach of that, you have to have a really good mind just for strategy in general.
Okay, I have no idea about this game, but I believe you because your calls this weekend have been stellar so far. And Mr. Remo Demo was letting us do all the talking and did the picks and bans with the players. So Remo, what do we got here for the lower bracket final?
We got 5 maps, hopefully coming up in our best of 5 here. Not quite as crazy as the map pool was here in our last series. Autumn Leaves, followed by Echo Isles, then Springtime, then Last Refuge, and Rusty Creek would be map number 5.
All right, then. We have to thank a new person because we cracked the 4,500, everybody. Invigorate with the $20. Thank you to the players and the great cast. Smiley face, less than 3. You see a smiley face? Here's the less than 3. And with that, we have the tail of the tape, everybody. It is another first time ever. And if you're a follower of Back to Warcraft, you know how rare these are. Who can take it? Who advances to the grand final? A best of 5, Foggy versus LabyRinth.
All right. I'm very interested to see how Foggy's going to bounce back here now. Had a crazy series against Happy earlier with a wonderful map 1, but then the series kind of devolved and got pretty painful towards the end. Happy slapped him around there at times, especially here on Autumn Leaves. Has he regained his confidence after that short break now?
Yeah, that Autumn Leaves game was absolutely rough, but there were a few avoidable mistakes, non-forced errors on Foggy's side of things. The last hit with the Ancient of War, the Wisp getting ensnared. So we'll see if Foggy can do it a little bit better this time around. Of course, a little bit higher ping for both players than maybe they're used to today, but they have played on this ping throughout the tournament, so definitely have shown that it's been very, very doable from their side of things, and scouting comes through. Foggy with the more defensive Ancient War positioning, going to allow potentially LabyRinth to pull this accolade, and he does just that.
Yeah, I wonder why. Normally Ancient of War is on the other side nowadays to make this pull harder. Maybe there is a thought behind it for Foggy, but what he must certainly take care of is Ancient of War denies. You can't make these mistakes, Foggy. The experience, the hero progress is too important, and I'm damn sure he's going to pay closer attention this time.
Circle of Nobility. Foggy continues his decent drop rate for good items so far. LabyRinth's going to be looking for the same or a Claws of Attack. Both would be excellent for him as the Death Knight comes out and starts creeping. He will get Claws of Attack. Can't complain with that, can you? Scouting all over the place, and Foggy, oh, I love this creep route. Pulls it with a wisp and is going to go for the expo right away.
Super cool. With this pull, If he waits until the Geomancers retreat, they won't be casting slow. But one of them didn't want to fall back. Stubborn little guy gonna be taken out here. This is fairly easy to creep. And the first mistake by LabyRinth this series. He wasn't scouting for this option. He wasn't harassing this play, which is normally what we should do. But instead, he's trying to proactively expand himself, perhaps. He's got the skull, getting ready for 2 bases. And this puts Foggy under pressure right away.
But at the same time, also sent a skeleton down to scout for the potential wisp that would have detonated the Blight, but Foggy has another one at the other potential expansion, so LabyRinth has to be aware with the coil to not get his Blight detonated if that Ziggurat does get cancelled. Level 2 for the Death Knight, and of course Foggy going to be level 3 very, very early. But is this, I ask you, Remo Demo Man, a mistake from Foggy? Should he be harassing on level 2 as opposed to power creeping level 3 here?
He canceled the expo. Wait a minute. What's going on? I'm quite surprised as well. Normally, you really want to play hard against the expansion. When you have Keeper first, you can't really afford to go 2 base normally. So all ins are mostly expected. Nice Wisp save there in the main, but Foggy's neither expanding nor is he pushing. He's teching, which is very weird to see against a fast expo.
And not building a Hunter's Hall early or anything as well. Is Foggy, like, his Wisps have been moving around. I assume he knows that this expansion is coming up. Certainly he does. Okay, Staff of Teleportation onto the Wisp now that was being chased by Ghoul earlier, but the Ghoul gave up, and now Foggy not going to give up, trying to deal with this expo. This could potentially be a cancel with 3 Treants. Will be.
Yeah, the level 2 Treants timing, I think that should be enough. Keeper about 40 seconds away from Nutrient, so he's going to have a second round here. Oh, and that's a nice play. The staff play across the map. We've seen it so many times by Foggy before. This works out well. And the game is safe, because if this expansion finishes, the game's almost over.
Absolutely, yeah. Really nice play. Simple. To the point for Foggy. It works out. I guess you can creep level 3 if you get that staff. If it's a map with double shops, you can easily get that. And now LabyRinth looking for a potential cancel himself, but he's got a long distance to travel and potential entangles to deal with some ghouls. LabyRinth is now going to tech. Graveyard on the way. And LabyRinth, if he can cancel Foggy's Tree of Life, I would put him probably at even an advantage, but right now he's not even looking for it. Okay, no, he's going to go for it now. He'll probably get this, right?
Thank you, Tyloo, for the 100 bits, and Champesk for the resub.
I love you,
I think he certainly should.
Sorry, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Sorry.
Keeper trying to take out the Snare Tower, that's a big deal. The Snare Tower, as long as it remains standing here, is always going to be a strong anchor for a possible expo. Very understandable that he wants to try to remove this. But in the meantime, also, Foggy suffering a bit on his side of the map. The expansion was indeed cancelled. And the DK is climbing closer towards level 3. Almost gets the Archer, but saved once again. Good save so far by Foggy. Gonna have to staff back, and did not take out this Narrow Tower.
Oh, is that Keeper? Okay, Treants can get him out of this, but still a little awkward. Oh, he's waiting for the intro. He really doesn't want to use his mana right now. Okay, yeah, he does use it. And yeah, one thing about this game, I feel like both players have been a little relaxed about defending their expansions. I feel like Foggy could have the Archers in a better position, could have had maybe the Keeper a little bit more defensive. Similarly with the Ghouls and the Death Knight earlier on, LabyRinth could have had that to deal with just the Treants to cancel his gold mine. Both players seem to just not care about the expansions, and I think particularly on Foggy's side, he should have paid more attention to not getting that Tree of Life canceled.
Yeah, I guess he wants to prioritize first and foremost that LabyRinth doesn't get the expansion up, and this is going to work out now. With the Narrow going down, it's going to be very hard for an expansion to be erected by LabyRinth, but the Tree of Life is super delayed. This is way beyond the normal time.
Yeah, absolutely. Demon Hunter creeping. Not going to be totally delayed. 6 Treants dealt with that Nerubian Tower, so that's, 300 gold essentially down the drain, and supply block LabyRinth now has to rebuild it. Actually, that's making it a little bit annoying for him, isn't it? He doesn't have a second hero yet. So that Ziggurat actually, I wonder if Foggy did that on purpose, the timing of killing that Ziggurat, knowing he would delay the second hero, because LabyRinth isn't going to preemptively rebuild it.
Well, LabyRinth finds the Creep Jack and goes for the Demon Hunter. He's not going to get that kill. LabyRinth missing out on a lot of... He got the one of the win. I forgot about that one.
So sick. Can't get mana burnt though. Can't get mana burnt and does not. Oh my god. Staff was passed, but the kill was found. Great play from LabyRinth.
Saves the Berserker as well with the Dispel. Damn! That creep and follow-up harass working out really well. Sneaking in that Mercenary is super unusual to see. Normally, hardly anybody does this. It is a bit risky, certainly, and Foggy not scouting that ahead of time and not dealing with it suddenly gets punished. The DK, dude, this DK is off to the races. He's going to be level 4 here already.
And of course, level 5 DK is so insane. Ghoul was trying to creep that entire camp himself, but now the DK will get level 4. And of course, Lich on the way as well. A great position to be in hero level wise for Labyrinth. And the Demon Hunter, of course, extremely delayed, just like the Lich is, though, to be fair. But I think level 2 mana burn much more important than a level 2 Nova for the time being.
All the archers at least did survive the early game. So it could be 5 Hippo Riders mounting up soon. As the DK scout what's going on. Of course, no surprise, the fact that Foggy's going to go for an expansion. I would say we're going to see this every single map this series, unless he goes for a Hunter's All-In bust against an enemy fast expansion. Foggy has found his rhythm, has found his strat. We saw earlier against Happy how well he can execute it in a perfect game. This game, not really perfect, but playable, one would think. However, the under tier 3 timing is swiftly approaching. That is worrying for the Ukrainian.
Trans chasing that priest that stayed alive for oh so long. The Berserker, I believe, did eventually fall. No, it's healing up in the back, actually. So the Berserker still alive, which is going to be great anti-air. I mean, if that's not dealt with easily, that's going to be even better than the Fiends, I would argue, against these Hippogriff Riders and Fairy Dragons. Nova, Coil, and that's a lot of Moonwells that Labyrinth is forcing Foggy to use before the eventual push, and it's only halfway through this daytime right now.
Ooh, is that level 3 on the Demon? It's a bit shy. There's a green camp. Okay, I forgot about the green camp. Alright, so then all's well, all's good. And the Demon Hunter getting found. Labyrinth playing very aggressive, looking for an opening, but he's not really finding much.
So lose a goal, that's going to give it to level 3 to the DH. And Scroll the Beast, by the way, found not what Foggy was hoping for. Greater heal would have been the best push from vulnerability. Second to that. And Wisp going to go down for Foggy. Labyrinth backs away for the time being. And he is now enforcing an expansion. Going to go for maybe a second base himself. Destroyer form about to finish. Ghoul Frenzy about to finish. But Labyrinth doesn't seem to be in shape to fight just yet.
Where are the Fiends?
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Did he not make a single Fiend so far? Yeah, I guess he's forced to play passive here. Without Fiends, he can't really go for a push, I wouldn't think. Foggy seems in a strong position here, in my opinion. Especially if he can hold on for a bit longer to have more mining. He's still only at 50 supply. The Moonwell, perhaps, a bit late here to break into up.
That's a mistake he was not making against Happy. The Moonwell. Oh, that's a nice aura for Labyrinth to grab once he does get some Fiends on the field. And for now, Labyrinth has a good ability to just hero focus, so he might not be able to counter the air, but he can certainly counter the heroes because there's not a lot of healing. The Moonwell's dry, the potion's on cooldown, and the Overseer did not give anything good. And now the Tree of Life is taking a lot of damage and only just now started mining, really.
Yeah, unconventional.
He can kill this, actually.
Foggy to repair fast. Repair!
Foggy?
Foggy? Where's the repair? Oh my god. That is an unforgivable mistake.
He could just TP if he wanted. He can actually fight, passes the orb over. Shades of X-Lord, actually, with the Alchemist Third, remembering back to that strategy at Rauerland. And he has enough anti-air with just the heroes in this Berserker, it seems like. Foggy is crumbling a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, that was very unnecessary. Not the first time today, unfortunately. Foggy might be able to hold in this fight, or can he even? Mana Potion used, Demon Hunter dead, game over.
Wow. Just wow. Not what I expected. The way that came to end. What the hell?
Not at all. I feel like someone slapped me in the face. Like, what happened? Where was Foggy? Did he fall asleep? Was he distracted by his cat? Something was really, really off. Initial harass, super cool with the staff, as you guys pointed out. But for Labyrinth, it was relatively easy to recover. And also Foggy, like... What was this expansion play in the beginning?
Yeah.
Going for an expo, then canceling it, then not all-inning, but rather teching. A lot of odd decisions and also not the best performance so far. Okay, there we go. Ping equalizer, I think, could be enabled, but we'll see about that. Yeah. Foggy has to bring it back, and this was rowdy. Labyrinth just plowing through the lower bracket here. Can he take the 2-0? The next map is his map. Autumn Leaves was a Foggy map, but it's not his map today. The big mistake against Happy on that map. Weird decisions here against Labby on this map. Big chance for LabyRinth to make a solid step towards the grand final.
All right, and Echo Isles 2.0 will be map number 2. A map that proved to be quite exciting when we saw it earlier in the tournament. But Foggy, he's got to wake the hell up. Honestly, this is he can't be playing like this if he wants to go on and face Happy in the grand finals. This is losers finals right now. This is all the marbles. This is a best of 5. This is a long series. He's against a player that on paper he should be favored against, but he cannot make mistakes like we just saw.
Yeah, I also must say, concerns me slightly to see Foggy make these very unnecessary mistakes. But you know, I am an optimist by heart, so this could still turn into the inverse of earlier. Maybe map 1 was a botch, and the rest might be great. Then it will be precisely the opposite of his game earlier against Happy. But yeah, LabyRinth, can he really make it all the way into the grand finals? Nobody would have expected him there, could have imagined seeing him there, but LabyRinth getting quite close here now.
Dude, and he's grinded out so many matches to get here as well. This would be his 6th win in this tournament? Yeah, his 6th win in this tournament with 5 best of 3s under his belt, 1 and actually, yeah, 5 best of 3s won, 1 best of 3 lost, and then a best of 5 won to get to the grand finals. Just absolutely grinding it out, LabyRinth.
Echo Isles is the very best map for fast expansion for Undead. Is this where LabyRinth's gonna pull it out? I would say, at the very least, you should go for a fake expo. Test the waters, see how it's going, and that's a big strength of Undead early game nowadays, especially in this matchup, where you can look for an expansion, but you don't have to commit to it hard. You can still shift gears and tech up instead. And LabyRinth, going for a very early Shadow Priest. That does indicate a fast expo.
Yeah, nice pull. Shades of Orc there. Very doable, and took, I think, the lowest amount of damage you can possibly take on that Priest from there. So it's a really nice play, which means you have more mana later on. So excellent.
How did it even work out? Dude, the Acolyte also took no damage. What?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it so well. I always take like 150 damage on that Priest.
A player's forces are
All right, Foggy. Does he even have a scout here? Okay, he does have a Wisp in position. And he does have a Keeper in the main base with Entangle first. Foggy, changing things up a bit.
Yeah, this is Sonic style. If these ghouls get denied by the other ghoul, no experience, that is so bad. It's a bad start for Foggy.
What a sick boy with that Entangle. The Nerubian, is it on time to deny this? No, it won't be, but that still won't be enough for level 2. Oh, and the ghoul just runs away. Another Entangle going to be forced, potentially. Maybe one more attack. The coil on time, LabyRinth! The perfect opener.
There is an upside here for Foggy with this kind of play. He is preventing a ton of lumber on LabyRinth, so that slows down the expansion immensely as well. There's even an item on the ground, but won't be allowed to pick it up. Foggy knows the Haunted will be much delayed, and he's getting ready to all-in bust. He's going hunts, double Ancient of War. There's going to be no late game in this game.
Yeah, wait, that's actually kind of sick from Foggy. Yeah, I didn't think about the lumber, but yeah, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. I think that's the entire point of this play. He got one ghoul and forced the other to run away, and no mining for LabyRinth, although he can remedy that if he just sort of sends all the ghouls to lumber for about 30 seconds to a minute. He will have plenty in the future, but I think Mercenary is very important for LabyRinth as well. He needs to be thinking about the second Priest and the Berserker.
Wonderful play here by Foggy. The Invis Archer in the main is so valuable here. It gives him so much info. He sees no tech yet, but now it will be started in literally 2 lumber. You didn't see Acolytes moving out either, so Foggy realized, okay, this is not going to be the expansion going through. So this is the fake expo they were talking about earlier, where LabyRinth didn't have to commit to it. Now Foggy has an unfortunate reality of being stuck on Huntresses, which is not the best late game at all. He's going for an AP! We're just being scouted! Oh my god, LabyRinth sees it.
LabyRinth's so aware. He knows Entangle first, you're being super aggro. I know what you're going to do. Pulls all the boys from the main base and gonna get this cancel. And Foggy seems very committed to this push currently. I've seen it done on one base with lots of glaives, but definitely with this tech being so early, with the space in the back of the slaughterhouse for a potential meat wagon, Foggy might have to just think about teching himself, but he continues to commit.
Yeah, the
More Wisp
usual
being pulled.
follow-up when you go double hunts, getting ready for an all-in, is to just expand yourself. Ideally, you want to creep the gold mine, expand on the spot, and then use the map control of hunts to ensure that the expansion comes up.
Right.
But Foggy, playing it really risky. I mean, this is a rarely seen strategy nowadays, so the AP not being scouted and not being thought of by the undead has a pretty high chance. But
Right.
LabyRinth was thinking of it, and this is horrible. Like, this is a terrible position that Foggy will need to work some magic in to get out of.
Yeah, LabyRinth, he's fighting right now. This is obviously not a favored fight against the Huntresses that are excellent against the Ghouls, but LabyRinth needs to do something to cancel this AP. The longer he cancels his AP, the more time he has to get his tier 2 online. Then, of course, he can get his Lich out, he can get his first statue, his first meat wagon out, and Spirit Tower would be nice in the main base now, seeing how many Huntresses we have here. Wisp being pressured, which is good as well, but no more Abolish for the Priest. And yeah, LabyRinth sees so many Wisps, 5 Wisps here. He knows that Foggy's committed.
A player's forces are under attack.
This is so much time for the tier 2 to come up. Once the slaughterhouse is out and 1 or at the latest 2 wagons, Foggy loses. As soon as there's 2 wagons, the game is over.
Wait, Graveyard forgotten about? Or is it... Oh, it's at the expansion. Okay. Okay, good, good. Very, very important. If there was no Graveyard, this game would actually be over if that was forgotten about. Simple as that, but... Okay, the tier 2 is coming through. Is this a game where you go for something like a... Where you go for like a Tinker or something like that?
I think the Lich is too good to pass up.
Yeah.
See the Lich coming out now. Slaughterhouse in the back. Excellent base build by LabyRinth again. We saw that quite a few times by him already, especially that Secret Valley game. Remember when he set up the expansion against Focus? Just a beautiful build. And here
Yes.
also the main base allows for the Slaughterhouse in the back. That is important. Again, it's about the wagons. Once we have 2 wagons out, this game is over. Unless LabyRinth messes up hard and loses them to Glaives, but that shouldn't really happen.
I think a Spirit Tower becoming necessary, maybe. He's got the Halls of the Dead and the Nerubian, which is quite good, but the damage... Yeah, I think is what's lacking to kill these Huntresses currently. APs move forward. First Gargoyle is out. Guess it makes sense. Can't be entangled. Good against Huntresses. Bad against APs, though. Very bad against APs.
I feel like they're pretty bad. But, well, I guess all the other crypt units also not going to be too good. Alright, AP's rooting. Foggy has had marvelous pushes like this before, which were looking unwinnable. This is certainly not a good position for Foggy, but he has good experience with this. Let's see if he can pull it off, but yeah. LabyRinth seems well set up. Dragons are on the way.
Yeah, I love that LabyRinth is putting damage on these APs because then he can do this. He can just Nova the Wisp down one at a time, and there's no way for repair. So all the damage actually counts here, which is not typically the case. Meat Wagon about 70% out, and 100's about to fall. The repair is good. LabyRinth could use with building a couple more Acolytes with his remaining supply, but needs 1 more Ziggurat soon enough. He's going to be able to have the supply for 1 more statue, assuming this Nerubian doesn't fall. That would supply block him. Meat Wagon's out. Keeper is level 3, but currently, and LabyRinth takes a little bit of damage here initially.
Yeah, LabyRinth only on 1 wagon out. He's supply block now, can't get a second. Suddenly he's in trouble. While getting all in pushed, he decided to set up the expansion again.
Oh my god.
Ultra greedy play that might cost him the game here. The wagon's going down. LabyRinth, oh my god, it's a throw into a counter throw here on Echo Isles.
And no Spirit Tower still being upgraded. The Halls of the Dead is the only defensive structure currently. A lot of Hunters taking a lot of damage, but there's more entangles now. Meat Wagon coming out because a lot of Ghouls fell. Shop falls as well. 3 APs still up. The Lich is trying to solo kill the AP. Coil used defensively. Maybe 1 AP could fall. Nerubian hits the Glaive Thrower and the AP dies. Okay. LabyRinth getting some counter damage. Going to be able to kill two Glaive Throwers now, but the Lich might fall as well.
Wolves being taken out. The Gog actually gets the kill on the Glaive. That's a big deal. More Glaives going down. They're, of course, super squishy. 300 HP only. They are made of paper indeed. But we have more coming in. The AP push in the main, perhaps successful, but a new wagon is out. And that wagon can deal with these APs. There's no Wisp repair here anymore.
Okay, let's just go down, but there's enough supply. Not enough gold currently. As LabyRinth, in fact, only mining on 3 Acolytes, 2 at the expansion and 1 in the main base. And Foggy might think that it's only the 1 currently. Main base is just dead, right?
Yeah, Lich not coming back yet. He has the resources for it in a moment. This is a weird game, man. Tough to say. DK, actually, in these strappy kind of
keeper.
fights, really good.
Defensive coil. Surprised about that. Okay. Again, the glaive thrower goes down. Lich now being rebuilt, and the Halls of the Dead was repaired enough. 5 acolytes here. Again, Spirit Tower would be so sick for Labyrinth if only he could get it up. And now the Halls of the Dead. 6th acolyte coming out. And Foggy's Huntresses are falling. Lich is nearly out. Oh, this altar's going to die, though, before it happens.
2 glaives. That's a lot of damage again. They have 1 attack upgrade as well. A keeper might get the gargoyle here as well. Close to level 4, which is going to be a big upgrade, by the way, if he finally gets at level 2 entangle. Foggy might just be edging it out, dude. This is still super close, though. Of course, Labby, he has that second base to fall back on, so this is not over yet.
No Necropolis, though. These acolytes, if they fall, he's only going to have the 2 at the expansion and not a ton of gold. Hunter's going to die to the acolytes currently. Spirit Tower now being upgraded, but too little too late. I'm afraid he's going to abandon this base. And Foggy must know at this point there's that expansion.
The slaughterhouse going down. That might be the most painful thing. That means no statue. That means...
He could have rebuilt that, can't he? He could have rebuilt that. Oh, as the Demo Man lags a little bit. He could have rebuilt that slaughterhouse before the Halls of the Dead went down, but I think he was panic repairing. We might be losing the Demo Man. What a sad day that would be, and such an exciting game.
Oh man, this is crazy. What a thriller on Echo Isles. That's why we love this game so much. You said it very early on, Sonic style. 100% Sonic style.
Yep.
As aggressive as you can be. I wouldn't be too surprised to see an expansion by Foggy on the former main base of Labyrinth. Starbuck, by the way, with an insane call saying he's going to survive. He's building a second base. And what? Oh yeah, there's a second base coming up, and then a couple of moments later you saw it as well. Was that too greedy, or will that save his game is the question. He has to rebuild from the start. Oh, okay, that's game.
Mine, okay, yeah, no Spirit Tower. The expansion would have been broken thanks to those glaive throwers, of course. So 1-1, but in a very exciting fashion. Foggy makes it work.
Oh man, takes it back. 1-1 it is indeed. Both players are taking the maps off of their opponents. But what a wild ride this was, man. Both were so close of throwing that game somehow. Incredible.
All right, do we wait for the Demo Man or do we go?
I'm in a game. Are you in a game?
Oh, I might be.
I
am now.
Okay. Yeah.
Did Foggy host?
I did host.
Oh, okay.
I took over.
All right, good. Yeah, Demo Man. We'll see if his internet comes back, but until then, we still got an exciting series on our hands. Springtime will be map number 3, tied series. Oh, it'd be nice to go full distance finally.
Yeah.
It'd be so nice. We had a lot of 2-0s through and through. If we went map 5, especially with these 2 players that seem to be quite evenly matched, at least strategically so far, could be great.
Okay, let's see if Remo bounces back and if Labyrinth bounces back from this defeat. He got so close. Yeah, the Spirit Tower, man. If only he had a Spirit Tower.
Yeah, I think that would have been the difference maker because glaive throwers are so easy to kill.
Yeah.
The Spirit Tower would have denied the Huntresses from diving on those acolytes over and over and over again. And then the only threat is the glaive throwers, which are so easily dealt with. So, yeah, I think the Spirit Tower, that was the biggest mistake for Labyrinth, but it's so easy to make mistakes in these sorts of games, especially on the defending side of things.
Absolutely, man. We give these players a little break. Time for us to thank you guys, because there is Tyloo with another 1,000 bits saying, gonna watch this on the TV instead of here, but cheer 1,000. Love the game and love back to Warcraft, and gifting a sub to Monster Dodas. Gaia Fürst, thank you very much for the 4 people raid. And Plankje, thank you for the 8-month resub. This also sounds Dutch. We got a lot of support from the Netherlands this weekend. Also, Third QI, thank you for buying an orc profile picture, boosting the prize pool to $4,509.
All right, people saying in the chat, Labyrinth just didn't want to play the game if Remo Demo was not watching, which I can definitely understand. Alright, so Springtime, definitely a map where expansions are possible. Definitely a map where also split creeping with ghouls. We saw Happy researching Backpack versus Foggy earlier. This is a great map for that because there's just so many little items to grab across the map, little green camps to grab in the middle by the base. So couple of options for Labyrinth. For Foggy, is he just going to stick to the Huntresses? He seems to go back to the Huntresses when he has a little bit higher ping, whereas when he's at, the 5 MS that he has when he plays Happy, he sticks to, the most micro-intensive strategies at times. So we'll see if he goes back to the Huntresses. I mean, if you can make the all-in work on one base versus one base, why not just do it every time? Is my question.
Well, I think you have to play reactionary. If there's an expansion, you can go Huntress. If not, then no chance. One, go! Oh man, and I thought I'm benched for the series and miss all the hype. Nah. I DDoSed Remo Demo to get my place in this lower bracket final. That's how I do. That's the amount of passion that I display here. LabyRinth, can he take the 2-1 or will it go into Foggy's favor now? Because that is his map once again. Springtime, also one of the new maps. Expansion here is doable, but rough. I think everything but a keeper would be surprising from Foggy's side. But once again, the big question, what is LabyRinth going to do?
Yeah, so far, kind of two different strategies, although he did go for the expansion both maps. He did different transitions out of the failed expansion on both maps, and Foggy as well did to force that. Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen anything other than a keeper on this map. Warden, probably not. Demon Hunter, probably not against an expanding player. I think Warden for similar reasons as well, actually. Potom, maybe one day.
I saw a Warden approach on this map. Ooh, that was not good. No. We don't do that. This is pretty much set in stone what the Night Elf is doing. Engine of War creep here. Not the greatest reward, this little mammoth, the Tuskar. It's not even level 2 combined. But it's a good start, and then you go into the middle, creep the other green, which then can be contested though. For LabyRinth, DK confirmed.
Okay, confirmed, and we'll see after he creeps that green camp. You mentioned he'll go towards the middle. He'll do that, or he'll go towards the expansion. If he goes towards the middle, he's probably going to be playing at one base. If he goes towards the expansion, he's going to be trying to secure that. It's difficult, but doable, the expansion. We've seen Undeads lose right then and there going for that creep. We've also seen Night Elves lose right then and there going for that creep. Pretty much every race sometimes loses at this expansion, but doable if Foggy prioritizes level 3, which he did on Autumn Leaves to start things off, so maybe he will again.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm back. Please.
Nice. A little late. I think we have to bench you for this map, but then I'll hand over my spot to you once again, as we started already. Claws for the keeper. Very nice. Town portal sold. Here's the sack skull. Off we go. Expo play. Don't tell me he's going to the middle.
Foggy is going across again, but with treants this time around, so no entangle first. Although I do think the entangle play was quite smart. It looked silly, but it actually works. Just the lumber thing that Remo Demo pointed out was quite nice. He's scouting for the mercenary camp, Foggy.
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, LabyRinth was going for a lot of mercenaries this series, but this one can't dispel. So I'm not too sure if there's a lot of value, really, to go for this mercenary camp. And LabyRinth is actually going to the middle. What the heck?
Alright, gotta pressure this. He's got Coil off cooldown now. And can he get this? Is he gonna commit for it? No, gets it with the last hit instead. Why not? That's easier. You can save your mana.
That's easier? That wasn't that easy. That was super sick. LabyRinth with the aura advantage. He's exploding. Surround on the treant. Surround on the treant. What the hell?
Foggy with a nice block to save the archer. Oh, the archer turns around though, Foggy. No! Okay, just gonna lose the archer after all the effort put into blocking. And that is unfortunate. Foggy, I mean, it's very, very early, but he seems like he's falling apart just a tiny, tiny bit here.
He's just flustered. This attack in the middle, he didn't expect. I didn't expect this. He didn't expect this.
He's at the middle.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. Build it. Please build it. Build the Nerubian.
Foggy saw it. It could just be. It is a fake. He's teching. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, why not? It is definitely a possibility. If you're a wild player, this... Yeah, Foggy knows he has to keep an eye on this expansion in the middle the entire game. He doesn't have to go for the big orange and can save it for later when it's safer to creep. But Foggy's not falling for it. I think that's the best call so far this game. To not go hunts and all in, but to just follow into the normal tier 2.
Players'
Absolutely.
forces are under attack.
Pressure on the keeper. Keeper needs to get one of these skellies, but LabyRinth seems to be aware of the experience count currently for Foggy, who is anything away. A critter would give him that level 2 at this point, and LabyRinth is going to be sharking for some damage. Can he snipe an item potentially on this side of the map? It doesn't seem like it currently. He's just trying to buy some space, trying to delay this entangle as long as possible.
Not bad, not bad. Okay, tier 2 unfolding. Graveyard is in time. Foggy has a Huntress Hall already. This is... Is he playing Dryads then?
Yep, must be, right? Or I guess the expansion is just so delayed that he's maybe forced into lures. Maybe forced into something like a Panda second just to be able to be in fighting shape, but just finds another archer kill for LabyRinth. Foggy at least finds his level 2. LabyRinth wisely pulled his ghouls back as soon as Foggy got level 2 and still finds value.
Did it take Foggy 3 minutes and 20 seconds to reach level 2?
Yes, sir, it did. Oh, Tree of Life in the main base. A nice play, but could have still been done early. This is a very late expansion.
Okay, how is this supposed to work?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know either.
It feels like Foggy could have built that Tree of Life at many stages in this game. It wasn't something I was thinking about. Maybe he wasn't thinking about it either, but it's not as though LabyRinth was in position to cancel it too many times. He only had a couple of ghouls across the map. Staff can be used, but not if you get surrounded like that. That's a dead knight.
Exactly. The big moment for Foggy to get back into this game. Lich is also occupying the altar for now. He's trying to break free, but this is definitely an entangle, and it's definitely a kill, and that's what you get for selling the town portal and being too aggressive, getting stuck in his own maze. But at least Lich is out. He can continue creeping. It's just a very weak DK now.
Maybe LabyRinth wasn't paying attention for a second. He did have to go back home to build the slaughterhouse around the time he got surrounded, so the DK could have maybe followed an archer a little too far into the base, and now Ancient a win for Foggy. He's going into a standard game with just an early Hunter's Hall. And okay, the Tree of Life will come out. Nature's Blessing will be done. The tree won't take too long to walk across, and LabyRinth might go for a Hail Mary play here. Wisp scouts the Acolyte that's here, but LabyRinth expanding now.
Yeah, and I think this expansion is a lot faster than Foggy's expansion. If Foggy's not doing anything about this. Tier 2 expansion for Undead on the way to Tier 3. As we learned in this matchup, Undead can do absolutely everything. Can expand whenever. Okay.
Was that a DC or a GG? Or a BG?
That was, I think,
sure.
a DC.
Must be, right? If he was going to GG, I would think that he would GG after the gold mine got canceled, because it was scouted. But Foggy in a good position there. Hard to grant a regame, I would argue, if that was a disconnect.
This is really odd. Okay.
So Foggy was ahead?
Not really, no. Like, the expansion was super duper mega late. I mean, he killed the DK, but that's about it.
Hard to say. Let me jump into the replay really quick. All right, I'll zoom through this.
Yeah, I think Foggy's expansion was so late, everything was interrupted.
Yeah, so DK dies. Keeper gets 3. Wins are up. Demon Hunter's out. Keeper's level 3. The expansion's scouted, and Foggy is running across to cancel the expansion, which cannot be defended because the Death Knight's not out. I think Foggy in a pretty good position because the Demon Hunter can creep at the same time. But LabyRinth's saying he almost got tier 3. This is always the hardest part of adminning tournaments is if this happens.
What are the rules?
The expansion was canceled, though. The expansion was guaranteed canceled. Foggy was there with Treants too, and LabyRinth was not in position to stop it. So the expansion would not get up. The Tree of Life was up, and the Ancient of Winds just now finished. There was still a game. There was still a game to be had, certainly. The Demon Hunter was underleveled. Yeah, it's tough. This is a tough one.
I mean, the rules say it's only a regame if it happens in the first 4 minutes. And there was no clash or whatever.
I mean, Foggy seems to think he was in a good enough position, and the pros know best, of course.
So, Foggy is the unguilty party, I guess. So it's up to him if we regame, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's up to the rules, of course. So in general, this is a win for Foggy as the disconnect is happening on LabyRinth's side. If he's not saying immediately, yeah, let's go regame, whatever.
Yeah, Foggy might be taking it, and who can blame him? He just killed the DK. He was about to kill the Expo. It wasn't certainly not a bad position at all. Just discussing amongst.
Oh, are you gone? Oh, are you here? I don't hear anything anymore. Or is this nobody? Are we playing Cast the Chicken and you're fooling me?
I'm typing.
This is Y2K. Now my Discord disconnects. Everyone's disconnected. Okay?
Seriously.
Clock is rolling over. The internet's taking over. We're done for. Thank you, Wados, for the 11 months. Says nice, Foggy. A nice one. It's the classic when you're playing Counter-Strike and your opponent has a shotgun and he shoots every single bullet and then eventually kills you and you just type to him, nice shot. Nice shot, man.
Okay, LabyRinth says go map 4.
All right. And map 4 it will be. LabyRinth with still good chances. Of course, could equalize, could go game 5. It's really the most unfortunate part here, I think, is us that we didn't get that full game because I think we still had room for both players to further get an advantage there. But at least we get the Demo Man back sooner than we thought, eh?
Unfortunate. What does that do to the psychology of the players here? Does LabyRinth feel cheated almost, I want to say?
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't blame him. It's very annoying when these kind of things happen and then, gotta go by the rule book, I guess. If only we had a reconnect feature.
Exactly. W3Champions has done everything other than that yet, but maybe that's not even possible. I don't know. It could be possible, right? I think.
Well, I'm reading up on the rules, to be honest. Let's go for a little... one sec. Let's go for a little tech break, discuss this with the head admin, and then we're back with either the rematch of Game 3 or Game 4. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have an admin ruling yet, but I have to correct myself. Sorry about that. I read up on the rules, and it doesn't say if it's a disconnect after 4 minutes, the win goes automatically to the not disconnected player. The rules say it is an admin decision. And the admin is on the task. This will be cared for, of course. But in the meantime, we have to cover a little bit of time. And Carson, last week was the debut of something that you and some other Americans take care of. So please tell us everything about NA Lul Cup.
Absolutely. So we've had the Back to Warcraft weekly cup every Friday now. But it's at a, maybe a little bit of a difficult time for people that have to work on Friday over on my side of the world, over in NA, on the NA time zone. So Baron, a bunch of other of the NA cats, they've been organizing for about a month now, along with you, Neo, of course, who pretty much has your hand in every single organizational thing you could do in this game, have been organizing a cup on Wednesdays at now 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST for NA in the time zone department, but open to everyone. This is something that's super fun. Hitman won this week. And we have, I think, a $150 prize pool for the next couple of weeks. Plenty of support there. You can do !NALUL in the chat, and that should bring you to some not only challenge links where you can sign up, but also match arena links where you can contribute to the prize pool. We've had plenty of contributions so far, notably from the legendary client Shieldpad. And yeah, I'll be casting that every single Wednesday. We had actually excellent games. I know it's called NA LOL, and you guys might be thinking NA LOL, but honestly, the games this week on Wednesday were better than that on Friday, even from players like Happy and Dice and Sonic that we had on Friday. So yeah, definitely check it out. NA, not known for their skills, but known for their, let's say, innovation strategically, doing some different stuff, making the games exciting. Quite fun.
I had so much fun. I just wanted to make sure that the cup is starting properly, but then every game was quite a banger. The Duck games were wild. The Razor Moon games are always exciting. Then we had Pato in. We had a level 10 Demon Hunter in one of the games. It was absolutely nuts. So please continue to make this, or to have the success. 45 players for the initial cup. No, it was a little rough for the players in South America, so we start half an hour earlier this time, as we also played to 1:30 a.m. I think in the East Coast.
Yeah,
it was really, really late. Yeah, so hopefully things can improve, and next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and of course every single Friday is the regular weekly.
Yeah, I'm so glad we have a second weekly now. It's honestly, you know, as much as I love casting the hype tournaments, you know, it's the biggest grand final ever, the hugest prize pool. I do like just, you know, chilling out, casting some chill games, watching some community players, hanging out with Chad and casting weekly cups. It's kind of my bread and butter. I love that stuff ever since the ESL cups.
All right.
Getting close. Oh, Neo's not in the game. Do not start Reba Debo, although I'm sure you're aware. just let you know.
First, we have to let the people know. Remo, what is the decision?
Decision by our dear head admin was there was enough of a lead for Foggy. He was far ahead enough in the game that there will not be a regame, and Foggy is awarded the win on the map.
All right, that means match points. A little unfortunate, of course, that this has to be decided this way. But yeah, happens from time to time. Don't blame the players. Don't blame the organization. Blame Blizzard for not providing us...
Or Canada.
or Canada for not providing us with a Reconnect from Replay tool. And now...
my god, we just had an accidental... I think he built a second crypt or a shop and then can't... Oh, that's rough for LabyRinth. Uh-oh.
Okay, we're jumping into the game now. You guys take it away. Match points, Foggy.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird winners finals here, guys. Sorry for that, but yeah, LabyRinth. If you look at the lumber, was it a shop that he accidentally built instead of an altar?
Yeah, exactly. He made a shop by accident, and for a second I was like, "What the hell is this build? This is not even the weird Dreadlord build." But no, it was just a bit of a whoopsie over here. This costs him effectively, well, 25% of the shop resources, and that messes with your timing slightly. I would say this is perhaps psychologically more important because it's just a few seconds, you know. It's like the DK probably 4 seconds later or something like that. But yeah, it's not the best feeling to start into a map with.
Yeah, I think it could affect, I think, other races more than LabyRinth doing this ghoul build order, at least. Of course, if it was something like a Ted Fiend's build order, Philbot Fiend's build order, it would, of course, be a complete disaster because that's very precise resource-wise. But I think with this, because you can get so much extra lumber, you can decide how many ghouls you want to pull for each camp. If you really need to leave an extra ghoul back at home for the lumber, you can do so. If you need to cut one ghoul for extra gold, you could do so. If you want to sell the TP, you can do so. So definitely shouldn't lose LabyRinth the game. But yeah, psychologically, not great after, of course, the DC in map number 3. Foggy, Keeper yet again, and Keeper on Last Refuge. We talk about it. Not the greatest of heroes here, but definitely Foggy, the greatest of users of this hero.
First thing he's going to have to look out for, once again, is the fast expansion. We saw LabyRinth attempted on Echo Isles, and I think he really threw that game. Honestly, I think he threw that game so hard. If he just goes defense, more towers, more acolytes, more repair, I think he wins that game every time. But, well, that one's done and dusted now. LabyRinth down in this series picks up the Sacrificial Skull again, but as we've seen, this doesn't have to mean Expo, but Foggy has to be ready for the possibility.
Labyrinth's going to start creeping, looking for claws. Attack. Foggy looking for level 2. Acolyte sees all. Foggy probably doesn't have the time currently to kill that Acolyte, so it will live to tell the tale of the scary man with 4 legs attacking a troll in the middle of a map with an odd amount of water in the middle of it for some reason. Everything's flooded in this game, Remo Demo. I don't get it.
Yeah, where's the source coming from?
Yeah.
I mean, is it from the brewery? Is it the brewery spillage?
Possibly, yeah.
It must be making lots of brewskis over there. All right, here we are. LabyRinth is committing to the expansion. Harder to pull off here than on Echo Isles. The camp is the same, but it's much closer to the Night Elf, and Foggy is getting ready to hammer it down once again with the Mass Hunts build. LabyRinth has invested into 7 Acolytes total, but he could still shift gears here. Again, he doesn't have to fully commit.
He's going to get all the experience. The Acolyte could be coiled, but then I would imagine we'd see an entangle on one of the ghouls to secure that kill. LabyRinth gets all the XP. Coil on the Acolyte. Will we get that entangle? I think Foggy could secure a ghoul kill just barely if he had immediately reacted to that coil, but for now he's just trying to deal with this Acolyte. The LabyRinth, of course, is tacking. Foggy, second Ancient of War. Are we going to see a repeat of Echo Isles?
Archer in the main, Scout the tech. This is the important scouting that Foggy gets. Oftentimes, Night Elves then would go for the AOW cancel and just tech instead, but he lets the AOW finish and techs, and is not going hunts yet, interestingly.
Yes, this makes the game very weird, especially if you want to do the mass air strategy for Foggy, because it's very much like a timing-based strategy. You need that expansion early on. You need to get 60 supplies early as you can, and with all these extra investments makes it difficult to hit all your timings, whereas LabyRinth pretty much just commits, an extra Acolyte, a Sacrificial Skull, which is all paid for via the Town Portal cell, so LabyRinth's going to be just fine here. 1 Coil Steal. This is level 3 DK. Looking good for LabyRinth.
Yeah, important scout. Gets off the coil, has level 3. That should guarantee also the Magi last hit.
Yeah.
And Foggy, he let this Ancient of War finish with the purpose of creeping up fast, leveling up the Keeper quickly to 3, but it's not working out the way he was hoping for.
Well, Foggy committing in. LabyRinth needs to get a couple of auto attacks. For now, just happy to grab these trappers. Coil, as expected, lands. Scroll the Beast for Foggy will be nice for those initial, probably Hippogriff Riders that we're going to be seeing. Oh, almost in the last hit, but not quite. But Foggy, importantly, hugely far behind on experience. Nowhere near level 3.
LabyRinth, sneaky, setting up Ziggurat, followed by a Haunted. Foggy sees it right away. This, again, is something that should not be allowed. Keeper would love to creep level 3, get Treants, get the Staff, and then Staff over maybe. But he didn't buy the Staff, because the DK stole it. Very smart play by LabyRinth.
Yeah, Foggy going to struggle to be able to get over there in time. Tree of Life coming up in an unorthodox position, but very, very safe for now. LabyRinth doesn't want to bring his ghouls across too aggressively. And that is tier 2 already done for LabyRinth. Seems to be in a fantastic position right now. DK goes across. If only he had run Necromancy, maybe he could secure that Tree of Life cancel with just that. Foggy looking to secure a cancel himself. This gold mine needs to be defended, and 6 ghouls being pulled across could be just barely enough. And AP aggressively coming up as well for Foggy.
Oh my god. What's Foggy doing? He's going Tree of Life and AP? I feel like he has to cancel this Expo. If this Haunted finishes, Foggy is in so much trouble. This guy might be lost with this Haunted coming up.
Well, 2 Treants going to go down. Coil for 1. Really nice reaction so far by LabyRinth, and he's slowing the Treants and the Keeper at the same time. Panda comes in. Foggy's not going to get this, and he might be losing the Panda.
Oh, getting
There's a surround.
Almost surrounded.
Oh, he's got to get the surround. Unacceptable to not. Oh.
That narrow, dude. Kevin in chat is having panic attacks right now.
Really nice
be
play
so
from
strong?
LabyRinth. Oh my god. Panda could have died, by the way, nearly, if there's a couple more attacks in the coil. And yeah, as you mentioned, he needed to get that canceled. Does not. Ancient War moved over. AP is done, but unscouted.
Archer's now joining, but the DK is ready to receive them. He's got the dust as well. That's going to be 1 Archer dying at least, especially if the Lich joins. Oh, but actually being very careful with his mana here. And the AP is caught out. No Wisp Repair, didn't eat any trees. This AP is falling. And Foggy, it seems like he's
all over the place.
Yeah, he's going for lots of random plays, like he's I don't know, just improvising strategically, and nothing's working out.
It's like he doesn't have the flowchart worked out, whereas Foggy, you would expect him to know exactly what to do reactionary. Oh, Keeper's just dead! Just dead entirely! The level 2 coil! And GG is called, and LabyRinth absolutely dominates Foggy in map number 4.
That was really weird. Foggy looked so shook, like he just lived through an earthquake.
It should be
what was
LabyRinth
that?
shook.
Right? I thought the same. Like, you start this, you F up your build order coming from an admin decision loss in the game that was pretty much in the balance. And then you make this mistake, and Foggy invited him back into the game with really weird decisions, but LabyRinth also absolutely brutally exploiting the mistakes by Foggy.
Yeah.
There was a gift. There was nothing but a gift, but that means our lower bracket finals down to 2-2, and we have one last deciding map here.
To be fair, to cut him some slack, the games get really weird when the undead improvise like that with expansion, faking it, backing off, selling the TP, placing the skull, having the ziggurat. You know, you got a lot of things to consider. So it's understandable that not everything worked out perfectly, but there everything worked out horribly. Like nothing worked out, especially the choice. Like to let the Ancient of War finish the second one, I would say isn't correct. I think you want to cancel that, get the hunters from one Ancient of War, and then just expand yourself while canceling their expansion. But especially the fact that he didn't even make hunts. He made no hunts, just archers. That I feel like is the very weird choice there.
There's a lot of odd choices. And then good execution by Labby. Also good mental fortitude to not crumble under this admin decision loss. Just said, okay, rule, whatever, let's go map 4. I'm going to win this. And he did. And now one step away from his very, very first grand final.
Be absolutely crazy for LabyRinth, and we just take a second to appreciate this matchup, how crazy it is. Like even the best of the best don't have it entirely worked out what you're supposed to do in certain positions, which is crazy. I mean, you know, it's like thousands of years of chess and still finding a new position in a game. Essentially, this matchup is becoming the new Night Elf vs. Human at times with the amount of strategic variations.
Yeah, definitely. Solid choice is doable. And now that you appreciate the matchup, I want to appreciate LabyRinth, man. This guy wasn't even in the top 16. He was a replacement for players who declined the invite, had to go through the play-in stage, into the round of 16, wins that, into the round of 12, wins that. Then he gets the unlucky draw versus Happy. Not too bad, but of course loses that 2-0. And then from lower bracket round 1, into the lower bracket final, into match points now. This is crazy. One more map to decide it all, to decide Happy's opponent in the grand final best of 7. Can the Koreans survive and make it all the way to the grands, or will it be Foggy versus Happy, the rematch? Carson and Remo will tell you.
Rusty Creek, game number 5. This is this has just been a weird feeling series, Remo Diva. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much from what we're used to seeing with the Happy standard, you know, where everything works out perfectly, where every calculation is followed through with. Here, there have been quite a few miscalculations on both sides, which also must concern one thinking about the finalist that will be faced later on. He's like, whoever advances here will need to clean up their game heading into our grand final, but that is a story for later. Now, we are on Rusty Creek. Many of us are big fans of the map, even if we don't see it so much. 4-player map, quite big, can oftentimes turn into fun macro scenarios. And I think a map that Foggy is going to feel more comfortable with, because here expanding should be a lot harder for LabyRinth. And the expansion seems to be the ace up his sleeve.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what he's had a lot of success with, at least the threat of the expansion, and then the wacky expansion timings, like a little bit for tier 2, a little after tier 2. Happy generally just goes for the tier 3 expansion almost exclusively, but he does go for it, so maybe Foggy only has that worked out. Of course, not a lot of experience against LabyRinth, although a lot of experience in the matchup for Foggy. Keeper, yet again. DK, yet again. Nothing too crazy so far today, but can always change.
Most certainly. Keeper gonna hop out of the altar. Foggy needs to have his wisps in place. He needs to figure out what's going on. LabyRinth is a very tricky player, not so predictable as some of his other opponents. It's not going to be an instant expansion, that's for sure. For that, the expansion here is way too tough to creep. It's kind of on the same level in terms of difficulty, I'd say, as Northern Isles, the creep camp. Somewhere around there, so it's not the easiest, it's not the hardest. It's certainly not as easy to pull off as Last Refuge, for example.
This goes down. Tome of Knowledge for the Death Knight. For Foggy, of course. Ring. These camps seem to be quite good, these turtle camps, to get a lot of permanent items early on. Keeper going to get level 2. Not going to struggle like he did on Springtime to secure that second level. And Labyrinth, no town portal sold just yet. Maybe going to take your advice and avoid that expansion due to its difficulty. But still going to be able to secure the level 2. And hopefully for Labyrinth's sake, a decent item.
Yeah, Labyrinth for the first time. Almost. Just playing it straight up. Not even an attempt, not even a fake out of an expansion. Just one base tech creeping up. Mentioning Happy already. This looks very Happy-esque. Just no nonsense. Just a solid, reliable play.
Wisp at 99 scouting. Risky business, but sees the tech for Foggy. Well, Foggy sees the tech rather, but Foggy's also teching himself. And Foggy goes for the shop really early, which is... I mean, I know I struggle to creep against this, but that's maybe because I keep the heal ward up for about 30 seconds. So Foggy going to be able to do this a little bit better than me, and he's going to get level 3 and a nice consumable here.
Foggy was also heavily taxing the Moonwells to creep up fast here, and he's going to get kind of punished because this is a very unusual move by Labyrinth.
Oh, wow.
He showed this before, though. This aggressiveness against Colorful, I think it was. The willingness to go aggressive with level 2 DK, and if the Night Elf is creeping so greedy with so low mana, this works out well. Honestly, if Foggy was more cautious, saving more mana, getting ready for an attack, this could backfire horribly. But with Foggy's creep greed, this might be the perfect play.
Level 3 Keeper, though, comes back, has plenty of mana. This is going to be plenty of ghouls going down. Labyrinth might have to blow the TP. The question is, has he done enough damage to justify doing so? He's going to lose a lot of ghouls if he runs away.
He doesn't even have dust in this attack. He can't even kill archers. This is a very weird timing. Honestly, this looked like a very botched move.
And Foggy just happy to come back, kill a couple ghouls, and not really lose too much. I think one Wisp went down, a little bit of repair, but the lumber, the gold looks fine, and of course Foggy's experience is looking even finer. Oh, Wisp found, though. Maybe Labyrinth could get some more return damage. He has a coil. It does go for it. I think he could have, Foggy probably wasn't going to go for a detonate. There's always a situation there where you can get 2 Wisps if you force a detonate on one and coil the other, but not possible.
Yeah, I think he was expecting Foggy to detonate the closer Wisp, so he went for the long coil to the other one, so that made sense, I guess. And
Foggy could forget about this Wisp for a long time.
Is he...
Okay,
does
he
realize it
remembered.
now.
Good. I was worried for a second there.
Yeah, lost around 200 gold. It's okay. Oh, 6 scout, though. Sees the Tree of Life in a very unusual position. But does he have enough ghouls to take it out? Possibly not.
DK finds another Wisp. Okay, this is starting to mount up. I mean, this has been, 3-4 kills and a lot of idle time, of course, when they're running around. So this is going to make a difference. 100 lumber currently for Foggy, and that's before the Demon Hunter and before the second Ancient Wind, or Hunter's Hall, which he has prioritized for upgrades, of course, as well. So this is affecting Foggy's timings. And it's not as though this expansion's super early either. So Labyrinth, the tier 3, could be very, very effective.
Death Knight has not much experience and not many items, also going to be relevant later. I would say this early game does go to Foggy. However, there's still one big concern, and that is the Demon Hunter. Where is he? When's he leveling? How's he going to get level 3?
Yeah, Foggy, still no lumber. Wow, this is... I didn't think it would affect him that much, but he's actually prioritizing the Ancient Winds before the Demon Hunter.
He has to go for Tavern Hero, right? I think it's too late for Demon Hunter.
I guess Alchemist was the standard strategy with this... was the standard hero with this strategy in the past. Maybe Foggy could go back to his roots. It's not the worst choice, but the mana burn has proven to be much, much better, of course. Lich now out. Wouldn't mind seeing that Lich grab a mana pot if only Labyrinth could afford it, but DK needs to also get the level 3.
Team Keeper is trying to create space here for the Demon Hunter, harass the undead, force him to stay on his side of the map and power level. But this demon is so late.
Yeah.
And he's also going to have to use the Tree of Life to creep the... No, never mind. There's an Ancient of War here to creep the Merc camp. Otherwise, it would have taken even longer. This early game, very delayed indeed. Yeah, I think I underestimated the impact of the Wisps going down. You noticed it quite early. Again, a game in a weird state, which seems like is where Labyrinth feels very at home.
And Tree of Life, of course, the lacking lumber means no nature's blessing, so it takes quite a while to get over there. But I think Foggy should be fine with this because he's waiting for his Demon Hunter to creep. Level 3 going to be necessary. Shop on the way. Hippogriffs on their way out. And LabyRinth needs to secure this level 3 before the tier 3 is done, or else he's not going to hit as clean of a timing as he can. But I imagine he's probably going to be pushing before this expansion mines a single gold.
And that's not what the Night Elf wants to see. What he does like to see is a period of vitality. Everything that beefs up the Demon Hunter is very good. LabyRinth took like 30 seconds to creep the middle green camp, didn't even get a level up from that. Perhaps wasting a bit of time. I would argue definitely wasting time. Harassing instead would have probably been better. Or if you go creeping, at least bring the ghouls. LabyRinth making a few unusual moves here, and perhaps it's starting to look better for Foggy now.
Yeah, if this DK was 3 right now, he could just throw Coil Nova on that Demon Hunter, and then throw another Coil on the Demon Hunter, and then another Nova on the Demon Hunter, and you know what that spells? That spells a Dead Hunter, but not able to do so because he's lacking the level. And now Foggy gets his creep camp, gets close to level 3, and it's looking better and better for Foggy, but still I say, LabyRinth timing could do a lot of damage. He's got plenty of ghouls. He's got still 7 left, and the first couple fiends are out, or the first fiend at least, and Web on the way as well.
Naga joins also. The Tri-Hero could be very strong in the late game. Staff back, picks up the orb, will sell the staff probably. Could even sell the TP if he wants to get a bit more cash in here. But does hold on to it for now. Foggy did get the level 3 on the Demon Hunter, very important. And picked up some very nice items along the way as well.
Well, LabyRinth's going to look for that greater mana before pushing. If he gets this, could make the difference here in game 5. But of course, there's a lot of good items. I mean, Scroll the Beast wouldn't be terrible. Anything that could save the heroes. He gets the greater mana, though. Oh my god, this could win it for him.
This would be a great position for LabyRinth. Foggy's going to go for the counterattack play. We saw that earlier against Happy, already trying to buy time for the expansion to mine more. It hasn't even started mining yet. This is a terrible, terrible timing for Foggy. Destroyers already, Frenzy's there, Web also. Foggy, I don't think he can take a fight here at all yet.
I think LabyRinth should just beeline to that expansion. By the way, LabyRinth, no Spirit Tower. That's something Foggy, or rather Happy, prioritized against Foggy earlier, and the Nerubian. So Foggy may be missing an opportunity to go into the main base as opposed to defending, but of course against the Frenzy Ghouls, you only have so much time. Destroyer will be forced there. Devourer will come online, and Ancient Wars here, but there's no extra gold so far. 48 versus 53. Foggy needs more time.
In we go. First mana burn hits the DK. However, only the first. Naga in trouble right away. Invul Potion has to be given over. Demon Hunter. Mystic on the Invul. There was no need to pull that item, I don't believe. Tried to perhaps get the kill with it, but that didn't succeed. The Naga, we saw her earlier, being a bit of a distraction as well. The Naga will go down in the end, but this is not a crucial part of the Undead army.
Not at all. Greater mana could be used to save the Fiend. I feel like LabyRinth was in a position where he could have saved it, but didn't want to waste the coil, of course. Entangle. Lich will be coiled up. Death Knight with a couple more will be mana burnt once. Oh, the Demon Hunter. Is there a staff, by the way? No staff for preservation. The Demon's just dead.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That big mana making quite the difference. We see how strong that item can be. Demon Hunter survives. Foggy back in the main. He's got some Moon Juice to heal up with, but it's not enough to get full health again. Needs to go for some heal potions as well. But he's broke. Foggy's too broke.
Kill it in TP here, I think. That's all LabyRinth's got to do. He's got the ghouls to chop down the tree. The Demon Hunter is back. Maybe LabyRinth loses a couple of units in doing so, but he's just going to commit. Could pass the TP to the Lich to guarantee this kill, to guarantee the safety of his second hero, and he just gets out, and now LabyRinth in a fantastic position in game number 5.
Yeah, this is terrible. This is a disaster for Foggy. He's playing the weaker tech, the weaker units, the weaker heroes. The only way he can compete with the Undead late game is by superior economy. Losing the base, the second base, is normally checkmate. Automatically. How can he possibly come back here? I would say sneak an expansion somewhere and play endless hit and run.
Yes.
Otherwise, I
100%
think there's no way to do this.
Really nice aura there found for LabyRinth when it rains, it pours apparently, but Foggy gonna take a red camp himself. By the way, Foggy, no town portal, no staff of preservation, just staff of teleportation. If he gets caught out, loses the Demon Hunter in particular, this game is certainly over. And very, very easy to be caught out against the Naga and Coil Nova at high levels. Almost Aura 2 as well for LabyRinth and level 3 on the Lich. Oh no, these hero levels are getting out of control, which is something that doesn't always happen with LabyRinth. He seems to spend less time prioritizing his heroes, less time compared to Happy at least. But now the levels are pretty crazy. Wisp scouts the position of LabyRinth, maybe going to give Foggy the opportunity to not only go for that next tree of life you mentioned, but maybe the next red camp to get further, or to try to come back from this disadvantage.
Foggy must also make sure he's looking for enemy expos. Cannot allow LabyRinth to get up to 2 bases, and he finds this one. It's going to be an easy cancel, but not that heavy of an investment for Labby. Gets most of the gold back, of which he has quite a bit, by the way. 500 gold plus on LabyRinth. And if he scouts up on the hill, he's even going to find an expo cancel here in a moment.
The LabyRinth Spirit Tower upgrade should be on time. Love that he did that as soon as he saw Foggy go a little bit aggressive. He's going to be able to cancel this. Foggy, though, another Tree of Life. I think you definitely called exactly what Foggy needed to do, and he realizes it too. Double Spirit Tower, though, for LabyRinth. Expansion canceled, and Town Portal will need to be forced. The question is, how many Acolytes will be traded? Just 2. Everything mana flared, all right. Why not, I guess?
All right, bit of protection there. No fairies went down. But the next Tree of Life has already been spotted.
Yep.
Thanks to the Wand of Illusion in the top right, this tree was also found. Foggy is trying to set up corner expos a la Moon and Twisted Meadows. But this map is not quite as big as Twisted. It's much easier to be the exterminator here on Rusty Creek.
A player's forces are under attack.
Red Camp, 1 apiece. By the way, Helm of Valor for the Demon Hunter. Quite a great item. Very, very tanky, although Foggy did eventually sell that parry up to Vitality. Claws plus 12 for the Lich. Can't complain at all about that. When lacking anti-air with Fiends, your heroes can make up the difference. Foggy, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with his hit and run against 2 Spirit Towers. 1, sure, but no Sappers on this map, and 2 Spirit Towers is more than enough to deal with 50 supply Fairy Dragons.
Dude, look at the Lich and the claws plus 12. They nowadays have more claws on the plus 12.
Oh.
This wasn't always this way, right?
That is
That's
done.
actually pretty cool.
That's by Kenshin. Shout out Kenshin.
Right?
Wicked. That's super cool. What a cool idea. I never noticed. A cool idea. 3 Spirit Towers. Is that a cool idea, or is that just toxic from LabyRinth?
Not based?
Not based. Not based. Tanks
So
are.
the towers here should easy hold this attack. This is not so scary of a force for Foggy. He's going to TP home.
Another tree
LabyRinth
scouted by
just-
the illusion. What a
Oh, did he see
great
it
find,
again?
that illusion. He found it already.
God.
Yeah.
Forces are under attack.
Especially the DK, it's so good because it just simply has the high move speed. Where you can spot so many things. Foggy's trying everything. He wants to get to the final. He wants to have a shot at the regame against Happy, but how can you possibly win this game, Foggy? I am wonder. Even in
No
trouble right away,
preservation,
trying to
no
staff
TP.
out. Doesn't make it. And that might be it. That should
Could
be
do
it.
so much. Yeah. Foggy's trying to hold on, but GG is called, and LabyRinth not only 3-2s Foggy, but some might argue 4-1s Foggy to make it into the Undead Mirror Grand Final.
Unbelievable lower bracket run from LabyRinth. Eliminating Sock, eliminating Colorful, eliminating Focus, and eliminating Foggy. That is insane for a player who's never been in the top 4 before. All he has to do is now to defeat an Undead. And then he got it. The championship. The new star on the horizon, W3Champions, was the breeding ground for Kaho in Season 11, and we know how good that guy got. And now LabyRinth, dude. What a performance. Ignoring the springtime game at all, and then back-to-back wins on Last Refuge and also Rusty Creek. Great timings, great execution, great decision-making. Everything that Colorful is lacking.
Yeah, he's he's played 7 series in this tournament.
Yeah.
7 series and won 6 of them against 6 of the best players in the world. The only player he's lost to is Happy.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a different LabyRinth today, man. Seems to be.
This guy is on fire today. It's getting later and later in Korea, but this guy just does not care at all. We always knew he had it in him. We were hyping him up, and now he's finally showing it. Wonderful. For Foggy, Very unfortunate day here today. The tournament so far was so good. Also, he came from the play-ins, had a wonderful, wonderful play-in stage. Also, day 1 was amazing on Friday for him. And also, game 1 today was amazing for him. But in the end, Happy, too strong. Too many mistakes on Foggy's side there, and same here. A little bit of... It's tough. It's a tough matchup. Everybody knows. But now... Yeah, we got an undead in the finals, guys. Not only one, but 2 of them. It's gonna be crazy. Of course, we give LabyRinth a little bit of time. We need to do the map picks and bans. We broke $4,500 prize pool quite a bit ago. 4,509. If you guys want to chip in, we have a match Reno up at W3Champions.backtowarcraft.com. This is the last chance for you guys to get one of these profile pictures, also done by Kenshin, by the way, who did the claws that we just mentioned. If you want to represent the undead, the dominant force here in the W3Champions finals, it's up there for a $5. If you want to represent the orcs and Lynn and Zakard and Grubby and Fly and the others, go for it. Also for the humans, who are definitely leading the purchases by far. Or if you want to shout out the Night Elf Sentinel, all up there for just a $5. All proceeds directly into the prize pool. Whew! What a day, guys. These series were pretty insane. And also your support. Thank you, Wados, for the 11-month resub. There's Nice Foggy. In the end, didn't work out. And Big Dog 86 with a 2-month resub. Roman Reigns, is that you? I wonder. All right. A little bit of a break, guys. And then grand final time.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
All right.